Alright, I'll put in pieces here. We are born lacking belief. In other words, we're atheists. We create everything with the brain. When a person is educated, very well educated, and believes in the supernatural, his brain or her brain is malfunctioning. When a person sticks with the rational, his brain is healthy. In other words, is atheist, lacking belief. That's the only way we can actually understand science. People that believe in God is like people believing that 2 + 2 = 6. Mentally healthy people are people that can tell between fantasy and reality. And the only way you can understand and learn science and the scientific method with doing experimentation is lacking belief in the supernatural God. In other words, believing 2 + 2 = 4, not 6. We feed our brain with knowledge. We create supernatural gods as well as science with our brains. Here, we can actually be able to create dinosaurs thanks to science, technology. That is the reason people infected with religious psychosis, like the Christians for 1700 years, have been fighting science. That's the reason they fight science, because science can prove, and is constantly proving, that God doesn't exist. And people that believe in God are simply deluded.
We can change things. Here's the mutant here. No wings.
By 8 controller genes, called Hox genes, that lay out the identity of the major body parts. When each gene turns on, it tells other genes where to form portions of the head.
It's really a little piece of one fly's chromosome that contains all of these master genes.
Other animals share very similar controller genes.
As far as we know, we were really built with a common vertebrate toolkit, the same one that built guppies and built dinosaurs and built elephants and built mice. That's what's built us. It's not an overstatement to say it blew biologists' minds.
Yep. This is written.
All told, just roughly 1,000 genes control the development of the body plans of all vertebrates. So small changes can have big effects. Makes a new discovery that shows that closely related species like dinosaurs and birds have even more genes. He discovers that the butterfly reuses an ancient bodybuilding gene in a new way. In the caterpillar, the gene tells the body where to form antennae and legs. But as the caterpillar turns into a butterfly, the same gene tells the wing where to make spots.
So keep your eye on the green spots. Voila. Each green spot is what's going to be the dead center, the white area of each of these eye spots. It's by very old genes picking up new tricks.
All life in this planet is composed of DNA, a toolkit that constructs our bodies, and it mutates, proving evolution. Here.
So these people that believe in God are
found
idiots.
a solution to one of evolution's greatest mysteries: how new features arise.
This is recent knowledge.
New species often emerge not by evolving new genes, but by using old genes in new ways and off. These breakthroughs mean that a bird's DNA is much more similar to the DNA of its dinosaur ancestors than we ever thought possible.
Isn't it? Science is amazing.
Really, the inventory of genes in a bird would be very similar to the inventory of genes in a dinosaur. It's just the choreography of the use of those genes during development that is different. So really there's tremendous genetic continuity that connects birds to dinosaurs, but it's little differences in decision-making during development that makes the whole difference between, a chicken and a Tyrannosaurus.
Suddenly, the challenge of recreating dinosaurs has become much easier.
That's science for you.
Features.
Give the gene of the ancestors.
His colleague Hans Larsen at McGill University is conducting one of these experiments. For the genetic changes that turn dinosaurs' long tails into birds' short tails, and eager to apply molecular techniques to the study of dinosaurs. He begins by studying the development of a normal chicken's tail more closely than anyone has before. He stains embryos at different stages of development.
This is what religious people don't
And
understand.
as he peers at an embryo, just 1.5 days old, he is startled. Larson expects to see 4 to 8 vertebrae, like the adult chicken.
But instead we're finding right off the bat, and very easy to find, up to 16 vertebrae fully formed inside the early developing chicken embryo.
There you go, Christians. You're talking about transitions?
Million years. This kind of a tail has never existed in birds, but they've always carried it deep inside their embryology.
Yeah.
He starts with a list of genes he suspects control the tail's growth. Larson implants a bead at the end of the developing tail. It contains the same protein that a gene would manufacture if it stayed active after it normally shuts off. Foments with different genes. And after several months, he hits the jackpot.
Yep. Get the right gene.
Here's what we found. We found that we could extend the tail a little bit longer, so now we have 3 more vertebrae added into
Larson
the
is
tail.
turning back the genetic clock millions of years.
I see no reason why
We go,
we
Christians.
could not
Learn.
develop experimentally a completely dinosaurian-looking tail in a modern bird. The system for developing that is in place.
Once in a blue moon, a mutation turns it back on.
There you go, Christians. Learn.
And John Fallon at the University of Wisconsin discover a new atavism that links birds to dinosaurs. One night, Harris is studying the development of feathers in a strain of mutant chickens. As he peers at an embryo only 14 days old, he notices something strange.
Looking at the head, I came across the beak, and there these structures were that were not
They
supposed
look
to be
like
there.
teeth.
We were shocked.
When a chicken smiles at you, it's something.
Amazing. That's science for you
But are
guys.
they really teeth? They peel away the beak to examine the structures more closely and clearly see that they are saber-shaped, just like the teeth of alligators. They even section their structure and compare it with a section of an alligator tooth at the same stage of
Might be able to
development.
do this in a animal that hasn't made teeth in over 70 million years was somewhat of a stretch.
And discovers a link to birds' ancestral past.
So this is what we found. It's very exciting. That this is actually the mouth of one of these experimental chickens, and well, you can see very clearly the fact that you grow paired structures here on the lower jaw.
A memory to make the beginning stages of teeth.
Evolutionary, people.
A regulating
Evolutionary.
gene that tells the beak to make teeth is no longer activated.
Dormant.
And they have the same curved shape as the teeth of dinosaurs. Other dinosaur traits in the DNA of birds, like scales and hands. Surprisingly, new experiments show that genetic engineering could give a bird scaly skin, just like a triceratops or a T-Rex.
Much is there in the bird, and if we have it correct that the ancestors of the birds were scaly, then we should be able to induce scales on a bird.
Dinosaurs and birds seems harder to reconcile. Dinosaurs have hands, while birds have wings. But Hans Larson has found that they too are genetically similar.
Really elongate fingers in their hands, so 1, 2, and 3. And these fingers are very, very adapted for grasping. They also have 3 fingers in their hand. We might not see this all the time, but here's 1, 2, 3 fingers. But they're highly modified for flight. And back to these 3 fingers in the dinosaur hand, both genetically and anatomically.
Research will be able to transform a bird's wing back into a dinosaur hand. Genetic experiments like these by Larson, Fallon, and Harris are untangling the evolutionary links between dinosaurs and birds. For most scientists, that's enough. Clearly, making a dinosaur from scratch is a huge undertaking. But that doesn't mean it's impossible.
We could come up with viable DNA, which is, again, one of the critical parts to the whole, I think, equation. Then I think it's reasonable to assume that we
I know that the truth that there is no God hurts. We only have one life. Feed your brain. There is no God. There is no life after death. When you die, you're gone. You cease to exist. Pace de oro. is a fact.